All right, well, it is time for the fourth edition, marking the halfway point of my UEFA Champions League preview. And it's time to bring on Group D, the group that I would say is strongest when you look at the teams one and two, at the very top heavy, with Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid, followed by a sizable drop off to PSV Eindhoven and Russian side Rostov. So, Bayern Munich is a team that year in and year out is expected to contend, if not win the Champions League. I consider Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, and FC Barcelona to be the three biggest football clubs in the world. And part of that belief of mine is because those are kind of like the three clubs, in my mind at least, or the perception I've attained, where winning your domestic league is simply not enough. You have to win the Champions League to keep your fan bases happy, to keep the board happy, just keep the whole organization satisfied with how you're performing, because winning the domestic leagues in their cases are the closest thing to a given. Sure, they have their off years, but it's really about winning the big prize in European football, which is, of course, the Champions League. Now, a word about Pep Guardiola's time at Bayern Munich. I thought it was very interesting how he said that his reign at Bayern Munich was not defined by his inability to win the Champions League. Well, sorry to tell you this, Pep Guardiola, but you don't decide what your legacy is. The fans, the supporters, the people who run Bayern Munich, they decide. And when you look back on his time at Bayern Munich, was he sacked? No, but nevertheless, his time at Bayern Munich is a failure because he did not win the Champions League, and that is what managers who work there are expected to do, and that is a reasonable expectation with the talent and just track record of their squad. Carlo Ancelotti is a three-time winner of the UEFA Champions League. He is as seasoned and as experienced as they come, a master at managing mass loads of egos, and I think he's going to do a terrific job at Bayern Munich. They have so many options from top to bottom. When you talk about the attack, I think the conversation has to begin with Robert Lewandowski, a clear world-class striker, the Polish international. Was kind of surprised to see him lose out on the Bundesliga Golden Boot last season to Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang of Borussia Dortmund. But, Lewandowski is just a phenomenal player, absolutely clinical finisher, and, just a ruthless competitor as well. That brings that kind of quiet confidence to the table. Another model professional from the Bavarians is Thomas Müller. He doesn't do anything flashy, doesn't bring, those rah-rah wowing skills, but he gets the job done. He runs his socks off day in and day out and has been a massive asset to both Germany and Bayern Munich. When you look at their attacking options too, it should be interesting to see how things play out with the aging likes of Arjen Robben and Frank Ribéry. They've meant so much to the club over the years, have been absolutely integral to winning multiple Bundesliga titles, the Champions League over Chelsea a few years back. They've had very successful careers, but this might be a winding down time for them. Looking at the midfield, two of the world's finest central midfielders occupy that squad with Xabi Alonso, who at 34 years old is aging remarkably gracefully and slowly. Meanwhile, Arturo Vidal, a world-class midfielder who came in last season from Juventus, just a phenomenal footballer, true box-to-box midfielder, can score the goals, makes great passes, terrific tackler. He brings it all. And, one guy who has really caught my eye and has been playing a lot for Bayern Munich lately, a young kid, but, I'm not sure if I'm saying his name right, Joshua Kimmich, is a wonderful player who has a very bright future. And usually when we're talking about loans with Bayern Munich, they're the ones loaning out, but they actually took Kingsley Coman, the French international, out on loan last season. He's back again on loan, and he figures to see major minutes as well. Now, defensively, I do find it interesting how Mats Hummels was perhaps the most interesting um, Bundesliga switch over the summer, moving from Borussia Dortmund, where he held the captain's armband, kind of pulled that Judas move there. He will never be welcome back at Borussia Dortmund ever again because he came back to his boyhood club. Bayern Munich, surely going to start at center back. World class player in his own right. Truly magnificent player, both as a defender and when it comes to attacking in the opposing penalty box. Love his game. Now, Philip Lahm has been such a reliable leader for Bayern Munich over the years. He's been phenomenal both as a fullback and as a holding midfielder. Yes, he's on the wrong side of 30. Could he be slowing down? Sure. But I think he will always have a big part to play, even as he's been at the club since 2002. Guys like Javi Martinez, he's a strong defender who at times can be painfully slow. Don't get me wrong, but he is a terrific, terrific player. The Spanish international. But the player who I love watching most in this Bayern Munich side is actually David Alaba, the Austrian international, who, in my opinion, is the best left back in the world, hands down. He's so good that he was actually brought on as a midfielder quite a bit during Guardiola's reign. Not sure if that's something that's going to be continued, but we shall see. The big question that I'm very intrigued to see, or big questions, I should say. One, is Thiago Alcantara, the former Barcelona man, going to become a first-team regular this season? Two, where does Renato Sanchez fit in? Huge buy coming in from Benfica. As I mentioned earlier, one of the, if not the most impressive player for me at the Euro. His maturity, ability to cover the whole field is just absolutely incredible, especially for an 18-year-old. It's so hard to believe that he's 18, so much so that people were openly questioning his age at the Euro last summer. But I think that came down to more jealousy than anything else. It's hard not to be jealous of a player like Renato Sanchez because he is truly a phenomenal player at such a young age. When you look at Atletico Madrid, a team that has been through its fair share of heartbreak these past few seasons, to come so close to winning the Champions League twice, literally minutes, if not seconds away from winning the first time around, or I should say, most recently in terms of the Diego Simeone era against Real Madrid. It was so hard to see them lose, the first time Real Madrid, then to see them lose the second time. Falling to Real Madrid 2 times in 3 years has to be incredibly difficult, but they have won La Liga over, Cholo Simeone's reign. And Simeone is one of the best managers in world football, without a doubt. He gets so much out of his players, and he manages, in my opinion, the stingiest defense in world football. Guys like Juanfran, Felipe Luis, Diego Godin, Jose Jimenez, they're all just, unbelievably intense, relentless, in-your-face defenders who make life hell for attacking players. There's a reason why Luis Suarez says he hates playing Atletico Madrid, because it is clearly the most difficult defense he has to go up against, and rightfully so. They also signed Stefan Savic, the former Manchester City man, who I didn't think really had a fair shot to play out there, but very, very talented defender who can do a job in the attack as well. But, there's no real secret to Atletico Madrid's defensive success, other than the fact that they're just the best when it comes to pressing the ball. They are relentless. They will pressure the ball no matter where you are on the pitch, and they are especially good at pressing in wide areas, closing the ball down and setting up those brutal, vicious counterattacks. They have a great central midfield led by Captain Gabi, as well as Koke, 2 Spaniards there. And, you got to expect a lot in terms of the goal department, and being great at the top of the press with guys like Fernando Torres, who has enjoyed a bit of a resurgence, or a renaissance, if you will, since leaving Chelsea and AC Milan to come back home where his career began. He has really made the fans happy in many ways, as has Antoine Griezmann. Griezmann the rightful Golden Ball winner at the Euro. I'd say the best attacking player at the Euro. Love his game. He scores the goals. He brings immense pace in the attack. And I think he's going to be the guy that France really builds its team around moving forward. So, Atletico Madrid is just an incredibly strong team that I think will once again compete for the Champions League crown, as will Bayern Munich, of course. Looking further down in the group, PSV Eindhoven comes out of the Dutch league, which is a league known for being very offensive, having a lot of goals scored. And this team is certainly representative of that notion. Luc de Jong has only been at PSV Eindhoven since 2014, but he has scored 40 goals in his time there, including 6 goals in the Champions League. So he has earned that armband through his attacking play and doing the job that he was signed to do as a forward. In terms of name recognition in world football, a name that a lot of people recognize and might be surprised to hear is playing in the Dutch league is Andres Guardado. He's been a cornerstone of that Mexican national team for a very long time. He's played in 3 World Cups for El Tri. And, he joined up last season from La Liga side Valencia. Another name worth mentioning is Jetro Willems. He was strongly linked with a move to Liverpool, a club that was in desperate need of a left back. That's what he plays by trade. And he became the youngest ever player to represent a side at the Euro at the age of 18 years and 71 days old for the Netherlands at the 2012 Euros. Now he is 22 years old, but a very talented player. Gaston Pereiro, he scored 14 goals in his first season with the club last year. And another guy who found strong initial success was Davy Proper, who had 12 goals in his first campaign. So, these guys are representative of, how you can move to the Dutch league and find goal-scoring success right away. I do think that PSV is going to bang in the goals in this group, maybe not against Atleti, but I think they can find success finding the back of the net against Bayern. However, I don't see them contending for a spot in the knockout stage, but I think they're clearly going to finish third. At the bottom of the group, I think will be Russian side Rostov, who lack a marquee player. They don't have that big time forward who can, I think get out and get them a result by nicking goals. They do have some international flavor in their team. They have Christian Noboa, who's been a very key player for Ecuador over the years. He's 31 years old now. Meanwhile, 36-year-old Cesar Navas, he is a 36-year-old center back who is a product of the Real Madrid Academy. So 2 names there who came in from outside of Russia. But, I think this is a pretty easy group to predict from the bottom. But when it comes down to picking the group from top to bottom, I'm going to go with what might be a surprise for some people. I'm going to take Atletico Madrid to win this group over Bayern Munich. I think that Carlo Ancelotti's main goal coming out of the group stage is simply to advance. Yes, it's always nicer when you go up against a runner-up as opposed to a group winner in the round of 16 knockout stage. But I think Atletico Madrid, with the mentality, just the ruthless, in-your-face, unbelievably crazy competitive mentality that Cholo Simeone has installed into the side, I think their defense is going to close down the Bayern Munich attack. I think that they could really present problems for the likes of the aging Robin and Ribéry, and just that defense is really going to carry them to the group title. So I'm going to go with Atletico Madrid 1, Bayern Munich 2, PSV Eindhoven going to contend into the Europa League knockout stage, coming in at 3, and then Rostov at 4. So with that, I bid you farewell until the next time when I will talk Group E.